Justin J, thank you for joining us. Miniature, thanks for joining us. We are about to paint some Marvel United figures. We got the Green Goblin all primed up and ready to go, along with other figures. We're just trying to figure out, based on the images, how we want to do it. More than likely, we're going to do it exactly like this, because that looks like an identical spot. Exact same hand gesture, everything like that. So this is what we're going to use as a reference for those wondering. Okay. Now we chose the Green Goblin to do first because it's one of my son's favorite super villains. I said that specifically that way, super villains. I know Green Goblin is a super villain. He knows Green Goblin is a super villain. It's just he is still a huge Green Goblin fan to where he watches him on that Disney Junior show and can point him out. His favorite episodes on said show are specifically Green Goblin episodes. And it's so funny because he'll sit there and he'll go, "Dad, that's Gobby." I'm like, "Oh, is it?" He goes, "Yeah, he's a bad guy." I'm like, "Oh, well, we gotta stay away from him then, don't we?" He goes, "Yeah." Okay. Dorian, thank you for joining us. We are painting up the Green Goblin from Marvel United. Finn, thank you for joining us. Maddie, thank you for joining us. Chris, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Today we are working on Green Goblin from Marvel United. Now we chose to start with the Green Goblin because it is my son's favorite super villain. He is obsessed with Spider-Man and really any Spider-Man memorabilia. So I figured, you know what, let's start with my son's favorite supervillain. Ashbred, thank you for joining us. He has great taste. It's funny because like he was having a rough night a couple nights ago with going to sleep, and he's 3 years old, so I know he's gonna have those nights. But it was like 10 p.m. he'd been up all morning and all night the night before. So we knew he was tired. He just was not wanting to go down for bed. So I was like, look, this is what daddy's going to get you if you behave. And he's like, that's Gobby. I'm like, yeah, that is Gobby, because that's what he calls Green Goblin, because there's a Disney Junior show with Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Ghost Spider in it. And that's what they call Green Goblin, and there is Gobby. Well, it wasn't even bribery. I had already placed the order for it. I was just showing him what we were waiting on. But what I told him was, if he sits here and goes to sleep now, that I will paint the figures and I will start with Green Goblin. And I'd already planned on painting the figures because we needed more figures to paint. And I wanted to try some cell shading. And these are perfect for cell shading. But no, we are going to do Green Goblin, and we'll probably move on to Spider-Man, because this one came with Spider-Man, Miles Morales, or Spin as he calls him, because that's what they call Miles Morales on the show, and Ghost Spider, because we got all of them right here. This is the Miles Morales one, the Spider-Man one, and the Ghost Spider one. I like that. I'm more into the Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is more like realistic, like, hey, this is straight out of the comics. Whereas this is more chibi. But I mean, they do have some really good quality models. I mean, this is the Wasp. And I mean, it fits because we're making dice now. So like us getting that around this time period, I was like, that actually, it's kind of ironic. So I gotta ask everybody, who is your favorite superhero? It can be from Marvel, DC, anywhere. For instance, my favorite superhero has always been Green Lantern. Or not Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Mine's fluctuated from whenever I was a kid. Like whenever I was little, it was Batman. And then I read a Batman comic where the Green Arrow took down a rogue Superman, and I was like, yeah, if they can take down Superman, they are now my favorite superhero, because my brother's favorite superhero growing up was always Superman. So we had that brotherly rivalry of, nope, I'm going to take the one that can actually take your hero out. See you next time, Maddie. You have a great time. Cash, Jacob, thank you for joining us. Mia, thank you for joining us. We are in the middle of painting the Green Goblin. Ninja Bunny, thank you for joining us. Now I got to get my purple out. I think we're going to use alien purple for all of the goblins' purple bits. And we do miniature painting commissions, by the way. So if you see something you do like from us right now, this is what we could do as well for you. Rick, thank you for joining us. We are painting up some Marvel United figures. We're working on Green Goblin right now. Soto Alfredo, thank you for joining us. We are currently painting up Green Goblin. We're basing it off of this illustration right here. This is how we're going to try to get it to look exactly like. What I mean by that is like all the highlights. Like anything that's highlighted like that, we're going to go in and do that animated highlight. So, for example, how it's just one shade difference. It's pretty much cell shading is what we're doing. We're just doing a different form of cell shading. Aaron H., thank you for joining us. We got the Green Goblin looking good so far. Got a little bit more on the purple to do. Graham, thank you for joining us. We are painting up the Marvel Crisis or Marvel United figures that we got in the mail today. Bear with me for 1 second while I get a drink. Venus Sage, thank you for joining us. We are painting up the Green Goblin from Marvel United. Now, we chose to do the Green Goblin first because it's my son's favorite supervillain. 1240K, thank you for joining us. Like I was saying, we chose to do this because it's my son's favorite supervillain. And when we got the set, I was looking at it, I'm like, I want to do a villain first. Well, the villains we got aren't really that exciting. We got Ultron. We got Taskmaster. We got Red Skull. The only fun part about Red Skull would be to try and do a Hydra logo on the back. That would literally be the only fun part of that. Whereas with Green Goblin, we got a lot of different color. We got a lot of different vibrancy we can put in there. there's just a lot that we could do with him as a palette. And I'm trying to see. Bear with me. I gotta see if there's a card with him in the box. Oh, because it's hard to tell with what I have right now as a guide if his pants are green or if they are purple, because I know the shoes are looking purple, but the pants are looking green. Okay, so let's see. And they're all the same image. Cool. Cool, never mind. Mama Scarecrow, thank you for joining us. We are painting up the Green Goblin. For those that don't know, Mama Scarecrow is the Mrs. We're gonna go old school with this because I remember from my childhood that he had like purple underwear type thing. So we're gonna do purple underwear with the green legs and green boots. I don't want to pop it off there fully. And hopefully when Little Scarecrow sees this, he is going to love it. Like I said, this is my son's favorite supervillain. I'm just going to finish up this purple, then we'll move back to the... Because we still got his gloves to do purple. Nate, not much, man. Not much is going on. Just sitting here painting some Marvel United figures right now. Yeah, we've kind of moved away from 40K a little bit. We'll still paint it up for commissions, but it's just gotten to be too expensive to actually maintain being in that hobby. Lewis, dream big. Thank you for joining us. Apparently, whatever Mama Scarecrow's doing Little man does not like it. I can hear him saying stop it right now, and he never tells her to stop. It's always me. I think he's trying to get back to the living room to watch me paint because sometimes he'll watch on her phone me painting, and I am painting up his favorite supervillain right now. I'm just sad I kind of got to invert the colors or the shadows, I should say, because I kind of screwed up. I did a zenithal highlight from above when it should have been from below, based on the image we got. But if he is watching, we also have Miles Morales, aka Spin, according to him, because of the show he watches. We have Spider-Man. We have Ghost Spider. We have Iron Man, Ultron, Ant-Man, Captain America. We got a bunch. Yeah, Nate, there's still a lot of us out there that will do miniature painting and different stuff like that. I've kind of moved away from it fully and gone into primarily dice making, but we'll still do it. It's just, it got to be too expensive of a hobby for me to maintain. Not that I don't want to do it, it's just, I'm trying to get more sales through the dice so I can. Am I gonna pimple? I am right there. They need competitors. So I mean, there's plenty of competitors out there. You got Atomic Mass Games. You got Wizards of the Coast with WizKids. You have Games Workshop. You have Renegade Games. This right here. This is Spin Masters. Spin Masters is known for childish. The easiest way I can say it is not just childish, but also like toddler based games. Not even caricatures. Like their highest selling game board game, Spin Masters was a Paw Patrol board game. That's what they're known for, is their toddler age 3 and up board games. They're not known for this. This is an age 14 and up. This one is. But the thing is remotes and game controllers. That's nice. My biggest downside and hurdle when it comes to the miniature painting thing is the price. Because yes, there are plenty of other options out there that you could use. Like I said, we got Spin Masters, we got Wizards of the Coast with WizKids. There's plenty out there to buy from. You have to know where you're buying from. And even then, there's always the people making proxies. Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, even then, you got people making proxies. You can go on, what was it? It was Fenrir, thanks for joining us. Table Hammer, one of our affiliates. And they will actually sell you proxies for Warhammer. So, I mean, there's options out there to counteract the high prices. It just depends. Are you wanting to stick to a game you like, or are you willing to move and adapt to learn a new game? For instance, if you're wanting to get into like Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, but you don't have the funds for Age of Sigmar, because let's face it, those are expensive miniatures. There's always Conquest. From Parabellum Games, if you are wanting to get into Warhammer, but you're kind of on the fence because of how expensive it is, there's always Star Wars Legion or Star Wars Shatterpoint if you're looking more for like a kill team level game. There's options out there. It just depends on what level of option are you going to take. Me personally, I just went back to what started us. I went back to D&D. I can get roughly 15 figures plus some for $5 a figure. So that's the other issue. But here's how we get people into these other hobbies, Nate. Take, for instance, Star Wars Legion. Star Wars Legion is booming, but it's Star Wars. It is a name brand IP. Marvel Crisis Protocol, booming, name brand IP. You got stuff like Warhammer, which is still booming. But then take, for instance, what's that? It starts with an M. It's by Weird Games. I forget the name of it, but it'll come to me, hopefully. But they're an obscure game similar to like Call of Cthulhu. But the reason why we are experiencing not a lot of people going into the other games except for the mainstream tabletops. One, they're mainstream. Two, is the simple fact that people, and I hate to say it because I am in the community as well. We have the highest number of gatekeepers in any community I've ever seen. Any fandom, any community, highest number of gatekeepers by far. And it's not a laughing matter. I mean, it's an issue that needs to stop. I was on a live a few days ago with a close friend of mine who outright laughed because of the fact that he outright said he prevented somebody from staying in the hobby. And I'm like, what good does that do? And that's a serious question. What good does gatekeeping do? And see, that's a good way to start. If you know that they are going to like a video game, try to get them in the hobby. The issue is you want to do it the other way around. You don't want to get them into the video game to get them into the tabletop. Because a lot of times, those going from the video game to the tabletop aren't going to be fans. We've seen it with Dungeons and Dragons with Baldur's Gate. People started playing Baldur's Gate, realized, oh, hey, this is actually Dungeons and Dragons. Let me try Dungeons and Dragons. They go to their local game store. They start playing Dungeons and Dragons with their local game store owners and everything like that. And then they realize, this isn't for me. We need to be more open. That's the biggest thing we can do for our fellow fandoms. And it's not just Star Wars. It's not just Warhammer. It's not just tabletop RPGs. I just got the wrong color. It's everything. Well, and that's the other thing. You're recruiting Warhammer, but you're worried that there's no other things or no one's playing the other games. No, people are gatekeeping fully people playing. I outright have witnessed it myself where we have people looking at, and men, mind you, looking at a woman and saying, you are female, you cannot play this game at all. The thing that irks me about, and that's the big, what I'm meaning by gatekeeping, I'm not talking about lore. Take lore out of it fully. That's the thing. We need to stop focusing on lore this, lore that. Lore is whatever the company wants it for that week. That's the big thing. Perfect example, Space Marines 2. Everyone's upset. There's female custodies. You've never seen a custodian without their mask, even in the lore, until Space Marines 2. But then you got to look at who actually produced Space Marines 2. Warhammer, Games Workshop. They authorized it. It's no different than the Star Wars fans. I get on to Star Wars fans about this all the time. Bear with me for 1 second. They get so uptight that Rey is classified as a Skywalker. Now, granted, to me, she's not a Skywalker. She is a Skywalker, though, because that's what Disney made her. However, if you're actually going by lore and everything like that, sorry, real quick, I gotta look for a color. If you're going by lore and everything like that, she would technically be a Palpatine because of the fact that she is a Palpatine. As well as technically all of the Skywalkers would, in theory, be Palpatines because all of them are from the Emperor using the Force to impregnate Shmi Skywalker. But that's besides the fact. We have too big of an issue of people wanting to go, oh, well, lore this, lore that. And I'll give a great example. Star Wars fans will outright claim that the sequel trilogy doesn't exist, isn't canon, yada, yada, yada. But will claim that the extended universe, now mind you, for those of you that have never read a single version of the extended universe from Star Wars, they're good books. The games are good. Everything's great about them. But even George Lucas himself stated multiple times, the extended universe is not canon. It's not even a multiverse. It is literally just somebody decided to write books with my characters. I signed off on it. They're not canon. It's no different than a legend going through. So anytime that somebody mentions, oh, well, the extended universe was canon, blah, 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 and I'm like, well, it's not and never was. They automatically back up and start getting defensive because it hurts their feelings that I'm claiming that what they like wasn't canon. I'm like, okay, well, that's exactly what you're doing to those that are liking, who are outright saying that they like the sequel series. And they're like, well, the sequel series isn't canon. This thing by Disney isn't canon. I'm at the point where I'm just telling people to shut up. Like, it's getting to be ridiculous that we have so many fandoms going solely based off of what is and isn't canon. Now, I'll take Marvel into an example. I'm not a fan that they brought in a full gender bent Doc Connors. I think it is lazy writing. And here's why I say it's lazy writing. It's one thing for the Fantastic Four to be doing it, because that was confirmed before it even was an afterthought that, hey, the first time you guys are going to see the Fantastic Four is actually going to be them in an alternative reality. We already know this. We knew this years ago, almost a decade ago even. But you got so many people up in arms over the Silver Surfer being female in the first Steps movie coming out later this year that these same people forgot that there's actually a character that was already gender bent that nobody seemed to really bat an eye to. And that's Doc Ock from Into the Spider-Verse. Nobody really batted an eye at that. Personally, I could care less about that one too. I just think it's lazy writing because to me, throwing in X character is gender bent because it is a multiverse. I see it as a cop-out. Bear with me for a second. I'm trying to find a specific yellow. That's not it. That's not even close to what I'm looking for, but I'll put it right there. Frank Jones, thank you for joining us. I'm gonna go show little man this real quick and see what he thinks of it, and then I'll be right back. Hey, no, I gotta say this. What is this? Yeah. That's his puppy mom. Spider-Man. I got Spider-Man 2. Okay. Honestly, I think we're just gonna do metallics.
Hi, Dad. What are you doing?
I'm working. You gotta go.
Are you painting with Gobby?
I'm painting Gabby, yeah. And I'm gonna either paint Hulk or Iron Man or Spider-Man next.
What, Iron Man?
Oh yeah, we got Iron Man.
And where is your face?
Yep, spin and go Spider 2.
Let's get more milk.
.3D Laser Design, thank you for joining us. We are painting up Green Goblin from Marvel United. This is taking longer than we've expected. This really should have been done about an hour ago. I think we're gonna call it a night here, everyone. I know we haven't even been on an hour. I'm exhausted. We'll continue working on the Green Goblin when we come back tomorrow, because we have to do the metal bits, the rest of the armor parts. The smoke, which I don't think that it shows on any of the. I mean, it just looks like regular smoke, from what I can tell. So we might make that unique. We might make that like green smoke popping out of the bottom. But then we gotta decide on who we want to do next, because we got Iron Man, we have Taskmaster, we have Doctor Strange, we got Hulk, Wasp, Ant-Man, Ghost Spider. We got a lot. But we are going to call it a night here. And I do want to thank everyone for joining us. If you do have any questions, please let us know. I would be glad to answer any questions you do have. Actually, before we go, hang on, that might be hard enough. Let's see if I'll move that over here on my lab real quick. So what I'm talking about is the dice that we made earlier today. That might be hard enough to do a removal or at least check. Okay. So this is the dice that we made. This is supposed to be like a nebula dice. I don't think the black pigment did what it was supposed to do. But I'm also not seeing really any voids from the top. Oh no, it's not done. It's definitely not done. We just screwed up that whole D12. I can probably fix it though if I flatten it out a little bit. It was supposed to be like a nebula that you could see into on the 12 face. Definitely not done yet though. But I'd say probably another 5 or 6 hours they'd be done. Fun molded, or that was a fun one to do though. I want to see how the other one turned out. Because I could probably pop that D4 out on the other one. Wicked Construction, thanks for joining us. We are about ready to call the night here. I'm just checking some things out. On the dice that we've made. Ooh, right there I see a big void on that D20. I don't know what happened there. Oh, that's like pulling up the face. Wow, that's something I've never seen before. But so like an example of this potentially being an issue was we tried to mix 3 dice sets at once with a cure time of 40 minutes. Now 40 minutes is a long time when you're working. However, when 5 of those minutes is mixing resin, and then the other 35 is pouring it, where in this case you have to wait for it to cure and then pour again. This one's a little bit harder. I'm just going around and I'm going to try to see if I can't pull out that either the D6 or D4 or the 2 I'm going for. It looks like it might be the D6. D4, we still got to find a way to pop out there without ripping it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we got all the ones off that. Let's try to pop this D4 out without touching it really. So that got the nebula effect pretty well. But we do have one issue. We have that giant void on there, which I can't figure out what is causing that. It's on every single one that comes off this specific mold. And it's only on that D2 face. Because it's the face that sits right here. It's only right there in that one corner. Let's see the D6. Okay, I really like how that one turned out. This is what we were going for, but with a little bit more black on the back. So like you can see where we split it. And what I might do is I might just add a ton of black, make it pitch as black as I can, and then throw in some glitter to simulate stars. That's essentially what we're going for. But that does look good. And that's just red, blue, and purple mixed together. And that one little nebula. Okay, with that being said and done, we are going to call it a night here, everyone. I do want to thank everyone that did join us. We're going to continue working on Green Goblin tomorrow. We're also going to make more Nebula dice. We do want to start selling those. Inferno dice, which are right here? Question mark? No, these are not Inferno. Inferno are right here. Yes. These are finally up for sale on our website. These are similar process to the Nebula. Only difference is no black, and it's just red, orange, and yellow. Beyond that, that's really it. We're going to continue painting our miniatures and going from there. If you like what you see, definitely give us a follow. If you're not already following us, make sure to check out our link tree to view all of our different socials, our YouTube, our website, everything like that. And yeah, once we get back into the swing of things tomorrow, we'll finish Gabi up and then move on to one of the other, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-ish characters that we got to paint up while we make more dice and a new dice box, which will be this. This will be our new dice box. This is the Dragon Egg dice box. I'm pretty sure, like, I'm 90% sure, since that lip does not come all the way around, that this is just going to sit on here. But if you want something more secure, we do have the honey pot that we're also going to be making sometime soon. Both of these are going to be on our website. And yeah, and we're just going to keep chucking out dice and dice boxes to you guys. We got 3 up right now or 4 up right now for sale. We got 1 demon, 2 strawberry lemonades, and 1 Zeus. So if you're wanting one of those in a dice bag at $18 per hour, or at $18, hit us up. This one right here is the Zeus. This one right here is the strawberry watermelon. So once again, if you're interested in these, let us know. DM us, reach out to us on our website, whatever you think would be the best way to let us know. And we will get back in touch with you as soon as we can. If you get off our website, you would also get a discount if you order $50 worth of dice or more. Now that can be multiple sets, that can be multiple dice boxes, because we do have the Gunslinger with a dice box for $24. We have the big one for $38. This one can only be purchased solo, meaning even though it's a dice box, you will never get dice in them unless you buy the dice separately. We still have to work on our eyeball nebulas, as we're calling them. We don't want to, these were more of a, there was a lot of resin left over. Let's just toss them in there. And we have to work on our Petri dish dice. But that's essentially it. Go follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, Facebook, everything. And if you like what you see, make sure to check out our website. Because our website's going to have all the most up-to-date pricing, up-to-date affiliates, really everything you need to know and find out what's going on. I mean, once we start to do actual like conventions and like craft fairs, because there's a couple around where I live that do craft fairs, we're also going to be promoting us going to those fairs. This way, if you're in the St. Louis area, you can come down and see me do what I do. I mean, I would literally be out there. I might actually be mixing up some resin. I might be just sitting there painting a miniature. I might even be sitting there just selling dice. You never know. So definitely check out our website regularly. Bookmark it if you gotta. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh. And I want to thank everyone that has joined us so far. With that, we are going to end the live today. We are going to start again tomorrow. I'm just